Nicky, you've got Mr. Fisher, possible for the Arkle, won over 2.5 at Cheltenham, over 2 at Doncaster, so clearly quite a versatile horse.
Absolutely, but I think the unfortunately, I think the most important thing to him is ground, and it's not going to suit. But looking at it that way, I was always really leaning more to the 2.5. Thinking you've been 2.5 around Cheltenham, you must stay. Doncaster was a good performance. He just looked momentarily outpaced, but then he got on top and he was very good. He quickened up very well. Doncaster and Cheltenham are 2 different tracks. It was quite decent ground that day at Doncaster, but as this is going to be stamina testing ground anyway, I think he could easily stay at 2 rather than go back to the 2.5, because I don't know really what we're going to do is have a look at both races and see if we can say one looks a little less competitive than the other, because I don't think it matters too much. I think if you went for the Arkle, as I say, the ground will make stamina enough of a premium to justify him going there. So we can do that. But he is good, yeah. I think for what he's done, and that is absolutely nothing wrong at all, he's actually rather a good price. I don't know what price he is for the 2.5 compared to the Arkle, but
he's actually 6-1 for the Marsh.
Yeah, well, there you go. And they said that I don't know why. I mean, how could you be 1 for one and 1 for the other? We can't decide which is the most competitive race. That's what we're looking at. And see, really take it that way. Precious Cargo, he's in the Arkle as well. Loves soft ground. He's not a bad horse. I'd like to see him go up to 2.5 miles, and he will get into he'll be at the top of, but the weight range will be so short in the 2.5 mile novice handicap. So I would probably like to see him go that way, but he's in the Arkle, and it's not impossible he'll run.
Let's just talk a bit more about the Northern Trust Novice Chase, the 2 mile race there. Precious Cargo, BURBANK, Champagne Mystery and Champagne Platinum are all in it at the moment. As I said, this is a race which very much is definitive on the ratings for the horse. Where are you sort of looking at the moment for the likes of BURBANK, who's in there off 144? Would he be possible?
Very much so. Absolutely. Precious Cargo, BURBANK, Champagne Mystery all get in. We'll know that. Champagne Platinum might not, in which case he'd come back into the Brown Advisory, possibly, or other options as well. But those other 3 will all come into that. I mean, you've got to be somewhere between 140 and 145. They all are. It'll probably get down to 139, 138.
Champ. Didn't go well from at Cheltenham last time, mate. But and you've not been able to get.
Well, it did and it didn't it? I mean, bar 1 fence, which unfortunately was crucial, he was very good. He was going to win very easily, and I wouldn't have run him again. As it happens, I haven't run him again anyway. But he's done everything right. He'd have done it even more right if I'd run him in the right novice hurdle last year, because he should have been in the Albert Bartlett, not the Ballymore. Because when we went to Aintree last year over 3 miles, there's no doubt he improved for it. He is a stayer. We purposely haven't run him over 3 miles so far this season, only because he doesn't need to. I mean, he's capable at 2.5. He used to be a bit keen early on. He's settled down a lot for jumping fences. So actually, he's going to get help by the up into 3 miles. It was a horrible fall he had at Cheltenham. But to be fair, it hasn't worried him at all. He's been very good. He's schooled at home. He's schooled round a racecourse. We'll school him again. And then where we go. He's proven he's a very high-class horse. It won't be easy. The ground won't be easy. 3 miles for novices round there is going to be a tough race.
He's got obviously a big name to live up to, named after the multiple champion jockey AP. Is there anything that he shows you sort of at home which sort of is testament to why he's called Champ?
No, it wasn't to do. He was here as a young horse for sale. Effectively, he was sent over from Ireland. He's out of a half sister to best mate, and I trained her and she was Eustace. But it's extraordinary because Henrietta Knight was here this morning, and we were talking about that as Champ was cantering round, and she said, well, the interesting thing was best mate's dam was virtually Eustace, and yet you get best mate, and then you have a sister to best mate that is no good, and yet it can produce this. Now, we had him and we liked him, and to be fair, AP came and had a sit on him, and consequently JP bought him. He was unraced. I just liked him as a horse. The name, I know, they'd had registered and sort of kept in the locker for a horse one day was going to get called Champ.
So it's all down to you then, really?
Not really, no, because, I mean, luckily we thought he was quite good when we started, and he got awarded the name, if you like, which should have put the pressure on. But, I mean, he's not a champ yet, but he's a very good horse.
In the same race, the RSA, you've got Pim, who's a bigger price, around 20 to 1. But he, apart from, well, he didn't run badly last time at Ascot. That may have got bogged down on the ground. He
just couldn't jump out of that ground. I mean, again, there's wet. There's about 4 different types of heavy, but there's no word for it. Ascot and Sandown have been having a tough time all winter, and that ground at Ascot was particularly testing and gluey, and it was not nice. And he's coped with soft ground before, but he couldn't cope with that. But it doesn't say he won't be able to. We'll see. There's no pressure. He runs in the Altior colours, and Pat and Christopher Pugh are very, very realistic. And if we didn't think it was the right thing for him to do this year, well, it's possible. We've only browsed over it, to be honest with you. It's all about ifs and ifs and ifs.
3 entries in the Ultima, Brave Eagle, Burbank and Dragon d'Estravail. Let's start with Brave Eagle.
Well, he's been a brand. He's a very... He doesn't show you an awful lot. He doesn't look an awful lot. But he keeps winning races. And he's got himself to a ridiculous mark. I think he will probably run. He should have better ground. But he has won in soft ground. He's come from some crazy places sometimes. He did work very well at Cheltenham when we took them there the other day on the all-weather. But that only tells you probably that he likes good ground.
And Burbank?
Whether he wants this far, he's in the novice handicap as well, which might be... I don't know. We're in discussion.
And Dragon d'Estravail, who's actually in the Grand National, may struggle to get in that race, but he's in the Ultima as well.
I don't know. I mean, I haven't been Anthony Bromley, Simon Isaac. We'd sort of go through all this on regular basis. I don't know what the exact plan is at the moment.
And we couldn't wrap up this little sort of Cheltenham stable tour without mentioning Mike Bye, who sort of gone a little bit of a different route with him this year and naming for the cross country.
Well, this is very different. It was only I was trying to just freshen him up a little bit and do something different and see what we could do. I mean, he ran much better in the Denman and he jumped very well. He lost both front shoes, which probably didn't help.
How significant was that he lost those 2 front shoes?
Well, it was only significant. That was about the only day in the whole year that we've had what you could have called good ground. And actually, Barry and I both went and had a look at the ground down the back straight, actually thinking it might be a bit quick for 1 or 2 of them. It was all right, but it was genuinely good ground. So if you lose shoes in soft ground, I think it makes probably very little difference. On that day, where the ground was, I'd say it was genuinely good, if not a bit quicker than that in places. You really do want your slippers on. I don't know that it didn't change the result, but he'd run a very good race for a long way, and it was certainly better. What had been doing before that, and a lot since, is just doing something completely different with him, taking him away from the other horses, taking him out of the routine, and just going off and doing things on his own. And then one morning he was at the sort of he was one of the last horses to school one schooling morning. I said to Nico, just hop on him. Now let's go off. And, well, we weren't actually. I was thinking of another horse going for the cross country. And I said, well, go and join him with him. There were funny little obstacles all over the place, which actually sort of when the girls were in the pony club and things like that. And actually the other horse didn't enjoy it at all. My bite thought he was hysterical. And they went jumping this and that and the other, and rails and tires and ditches and all sorts of things, and backwards and forwards, and he thought it was fun. And I did it again, and we did it again, and it was a way of just sort of... And then I thought they'd all think I'd lost the plot. I suggested to a very enthusiastic team that, well, I've got a new idea. Why don't we try to cross country? And we took him there last Monday, and despite some very, very soft ground, which he wouldn't like. I remember we went there with Vita to Rock last year, who was sort of so-so about it, but he got round well in the race. Mike Bite thought it was terrific. He just did everything. Every new bit we did, we just jumped this one and that one and that one, all completely new, every single time. Just in like a bull and took off, and he loved it. We're going to take him back there again next week. The only problem is that there are about 3 problems. One is there's a fair debate about whether he stays 3¼ miles. But, okay, 4 miles round here, that is a bit different. I think you need experience of those fences. I don't think horses will, especially when you're going for the championship one, doing it first time out will be hard. You then got a problem of Tiger Roll and the French horse of JP's. They are really, really experienced horses, these games. So what we're trying to do is probably the impossible. But the horse will enjoy it. He'll be experienced because it might be a route for his future.
Because we saw him this morning, and he looks still full of life. He looks so well in his coat.
He's in great form.
The flame still looks like it burns.
It is, because he's been enjoying what we've been doing. He loved Monday. He thought it was absolutely terrific. It was fun to watch.
The Johnny Henderson Grand Annual, a race, Nicky, for obvious reasons, you would love to win again. You've got 2 runners this year. What's Wrong With You and T and Val? Can you sum up their chances for us?
T and Val is a regular and always runs his race. He comes in the spring. He's just about coming to it now too. But unfortunately, he wants to go ground. Might not stop him running, but his chances certainly would be enhanced by 2 dry weeks. I think that's optimistic. But on the other hand, What's Wrong With You loves soft ground. You just might think he wants a bit further, and so we'll have to decide whether he runs in this or the Brown Advisory. He goes in the soft, and you're going to need to stay every yard of 2 miles. They'll always go a good gallop. Yeah, I think he'll run anyway.
What's the Henderson hot pot for Cheltenham?
Anything will do. You always say you'd settle for one. You certainly would, because I wouldn't settle for none, not surprisingly. So,
is there something in any of the handicaps that you feel you may just slightly be ahead of the handicapper with? We haven't got a horse on the place that is £1 ahead of any handicapper. Most of them are £10. The handicapper's £10 ahead of us, honestly. Or is there anything then that you think is the handicapper's got it about right then?
I don't know. They're very hard to win. I mean, look, William Henry won the Coral off top weight last year, which was an amazing performance. He's got nowhere to go. He hasn't got. There's nothing I can run him in this year. So hence he went actually down to the National Spirit the other day, which was great because it's a good consolation prize. But I would think, I think those 3 in the novice handicap chase all have realistic chances. I'd like to see Precious Cargo running it because I think he'd have a great chance.